In Ontario, I will do everything, including cut off their energy, with a smile on my face.
Please do it while Trump addresses Congress tomorrow. That would be a bold, unforgettable power move. Do it.
I know other countries are thinking Americans are wild right now. I'm not even gonna lie. In my 31 years, I have never paid attention to politics the way I have since 2025 has really started. It's like WWE. It's been a circus. Every day is like a new episode. But I want to remind my viewers that even though I've been sharing lately of people breaking down in tears, do not live in fear. Just make sure you are prepared for whatever it is that may come. With that being said, enjoy the video.
I voted for Trump because of the economy. He's a businessman. He's going to do great things for the economy. Okay, then what's this? What's this? This is today. This is after he said that he's going to impose the tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Oh, wait, you think it's just the Dow Jones? I got some NASDAQ numbers for you, too. Look at that. That's today. Today. Oh, and I have a video for you.
The United States has been taken advantage of for 40 years. The United States has been a laughingstock for years and years. That's why this gentleman is built in Taiwan instead of building here. It would have been better if he built here. If we had a president that knew what they were doing, and we had a lot of them very bad on trade.
I'm no economist, but I know down when it comes to money means bad.
The stock market nosedive today, down almost 650 points.
Announced that he is going through with slapping 25% tariffs on two of our biggest trading partners, Mexico and Canada. And the business community predictably reacted with shock because everyone really, besides Donald Trump and his mindless cult followers, know that tariffs, especially tariffs indiscriminately placed just across the board, 25% tariffs, everyone knows that that is economic disaster. And so the market reacted predictably by crashing today. Not only that, but the Fed is now out there with forecasts saying that we are headed towards recession.
U.S. stocks are tumbling after Trump confirmed his 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada today. Investors were praying for a last-minute reversal, but Trump said there was no more room for negotiations. And the market immediately panicked. The NASDAQ down 2.6%. The Dow crashed 650 points. The S&P 500 down 2%. Meanwhile, do you know who's thriving? Europe. Why are European stocks hitting record highs? Because European governments are pouring money into defense stocks after Trump botched the meeting with Zelensky last week. And crypto's not safe either. Bitcoin just hit $86,000, which wiped away its weekend rally. So much for Trump's strategic crypto reserve plan.
And while the stock market seems to be falling off a cliff, we're actually getting better than expected mortgage rate reaction. See, the 10-year treasury is also down over 1%. And if you're not aware, the 10-year treasury is an indicator as to where mortgage rates are going to go. So if this trend continues, which it's been doing for the last week or so, we could likely see lower mortgage rates before the next rate cut happens. As it stands right now, the 10-year treasury is at 4.1%, down from 4.8, and in September of 2024, it was actually at 3.6, and that resulted in a mortgage rate of 6%, which is substantially lower than where we are right now. So if we get this trend continuing with lower 10-year treasuries, we could actually see 6% mortgage rates pretty quickly. Now, of course, we'll have to wait and see how the economic data plays out. We could have pretty low mortgage rates before summer, and what do you think is going to happen to the housing market if we have sub 6%?
Everybody lost money, right? Now, people were pulling their money out because Donald said he was going to move the tariffs forward with Canada and Mexico tomorrow, right? So a lot of people foresee BS happening. This is where it gets interesting. So Doug Ford, the recently re-elected premier for Ontario, Canada, he said he would cut off the electricity for Michigan, Minnesota, and New York tomorrow if Donald is serious. And he'd do it with a smile on his face. Now listen, I'm so freaked out, right? And this ain't fear mongering. I am freaking out though, because I can foresee, you got to think, if crypto, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, if everybody's losing money, I'm talking down 600 points plus on the Dow Jones, bro, in one day, bro. Basically, all of the money Americans made when Donald got elected, they basically lost today. Not completely, but a lot of people lost a lot of money today, and we all know that.
A lot of content creators today are talking about the stock market. As I make this video, the stock market is down 649 points. This is Monday the 3rd. We used to talk about the economy in terms of the stock market, GDP, unemployment, all those types of things. But under authoritarianism, the economy is the government. The government is the economy. They are so tightly woven together. And we have for so long been used to the conversations of the stock market. And we say like, oh, the billionaires lost a lot of money today. This billionaire lost $30 billion because of the stock market. But they have such unimaginable wealth that it's no longer a matter of how many zeros are there in their billions. They have so much wealth that it really just doesn't matter anymore. So instead, they measure their wealth by how much of the total percentage of everything do they have. And they have so much of everything that the only natural next target is, well, the government. Which is why the billionaires were at the inauguration. They want to have it all. A stock market crashing or having a bad day is actually not that relevant as it used to be to the billionaires and to the government as they wind tightly to. It just means that it's easier and cheaper to buy and get a greater percentage of it all. In fact, some have argued that the intentional point of it all is to crash the economy. So when the president gets up and talks about tariffs or talks about unemployment, he doesn't care anymore. Because the only goal in fascism is control. The market could crash to nothing and it would not matter. It would not matter. They have control of the House, the Senate, the presidency, and the courts. What's going to change? This allows them to exert more control. And we've seen this throughout history. Mussolini nationalized most major businesses. And if businesses fail, that's actually a better argument for the government to take over. Especially if you've gutted all of the wasteful, quote, useless government programs. Then there's money to spend on doing exactly that. And who better to run those things than the billionaires? But that wouldn't work, right? Oh, you mean like Doge? But you say the government can't do that. They can't just do that. Oh, you mean like Doge? So yeah, I appreciate that some of your favorite creators today are sort of lamenting about the stock market crash, but I think that is a misdirection. I think it doesn't matter.
So the last bear market that we were in was in 2022. We certainly are in a pullback. It could transition into a bear market, or we could get a bounce. I think there's just a lot of fear right now about these, for one, tariffs, and two, a slowing economy. We saw during Trump's press conference today, there were a lot of questions directed about these, or at these tariffs for Canada and Mexico. And I think there was some hope that was remaining up until that press conference that, maybe this was all a bluff, or, there was going to be some negotiating and they could potentially stop these tariffs. And any questions related to these tariffs, Trump's answers were essentially just, no, it's too late, they're going to effect. He basically squashed any hope of them not going into effect. And we saw the market tumble right as that was happening. However, I think that it's important to keep in mind that these are not, the reason that Trump wants to impose these tariffs is because of border control, not because he wants to continue having decreased trade with Mexico and Canada, and maybe that's part of it, but it's not like China. The Chinese tariffs are different than the Canadian and Mexico tariffs, and these are directed at border control, and he wants to see better border control, so he's using these as a potential leverage to get what he wants. So I don't think these are going to be permanent. I don't think that these are going to be there for the long run like these Chinese tariffs that we're expected to see. February typically is a down month, and I think that a pullback is a sign of a healthy market. I'm looking for us to get a bounce this month.
So the stock market started to sell off because Trump announced that he's going to go ahead with tariffs on Canada and Mexico. So he's going to slap them with a 25% tariff tax on them. So that creates a lot of uncertainty with how those goods are going to come into the country. So a lot of people got scared and sold their stock.
Donald Trump announced that there's going to be a U.S. crypto reserve this Sunday. When that news came out, Bitcoin and pretty much all cryptos went up a ton. Today, Trump announced that there's going to be 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico starting tomorrow. Crypto made a huge move down following this news, erasing all of the gains from the positive news on Sunday. This news on tariffs also caused the U.S. stock market to go down quite a bit. The S&P 500 was down about 3% at one point today. These are some of the craziest market conditions that I have seen in a while. I like it because I'm a trader and I'm able to profit off of these price movements, but if I wasn't a trader, I'd probably be a little bit stressed out.
If you have some money to put away, this is the perfect time to be buying stocks. I would probably wait like about another week or so just to see and then start purchasing them. But this is the time to not stress and to not worry. Especially if you're young, your 401k will readjust. The ones that I am concerned about is the elderly that are close to retirement and everything.
Wow, the economy is doing so well. Look at that. I mean, can't be any better than this.
So honestly, this could be a good thing for a lot of people because you don't know how it's going to affect other markets, like what that one man was saying about mortgage rates. We got to get through the bad to get to the good. And sometimes we got to see the ugly before we see the beautiful. That's my take on everything. With the tariffs on Canada and on Mexico, it's definitely going to cause a change. And neither of those countries are going to back down. They've already made that clear. I know it sounds crazy, but I honestly just think at the end of the road, we're going to see the rainbow when it's all said and done. Let me know what you think in the comments.